Hi, I'm John from Eurovision Ireland, and I'm with Adgy, who's in Eurosong and hoping to represent Ireland at the Eurovision Song Contest in Liverpool in May. How's it going?
Hello, John. It's going good, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. So you're one of the final six. So how did it feel when you got the call from RTE to say that you could be in?
Um, so I missed the original call. I got a missed call from a number, and I usually call people back. So I called the number back not too long afterwards, and yeah, Michael told me the news. I was really happy. I mean, I was really excited, and I kind of just clicked into, okay, this is happening. Where do we go from here? And yeah, I was just excited. And from that point until now, I think I've just been, working towards and planning and rehearsing for the performance on Eurosong.
Okay, so you've written the song "Too Good for Your Love" with Peter Solimosi. How did that collaboration come about?
So Peter's one of the earlier producers I started working with. So before I ever released any music, I started working with him, and that was over the lockdown. And the first track I ever released was actually a collaboration with him. It was called Like You Do. So me and him have just gelled really well. We've never actually met in person, and he just confirmed yesterday. So he's getting one of the audience tickets on the Late Late Show. So I'm gonna meet him finally at the Eurosong in Dublin. But we've just worked loads remotely over and back. It's kind of all of that became very normal during the lockdown, and that's just how we've kind of worked. And then we worked on this track. It wasn't particularly a Eurovision song. We were just working on a song because we both really liked it, and that was the kind of outcome. And the whole track just came together.
I understand you're based in London at the moment. So I guess you split your time between London and Donegal.
No, I'm in Donegal. I've been in
Ah,
Donegal, yeah, most of last year. I think post pandemic. So basically, during the pandemic, I spent the whole time back in Donegal. And then post pandemic, I took a break and went to London. I really just I wanted to get back into the physical studio. I wanted to get back into that world where I could actually do something that wasn't remote and over Zoom. So I did that for a while. And then since then, I've just been traveling over and back. But I'm pretty much based in Donegal. So
okay. Now I understand you're the man of 10 million streams. Um, what's your secret to getting so many streams on social media?
yeah, well, it's mostly on streaming platforms. To be honest, like it was the first track, the one I just mentioned that I released with Boxy Like You Do. The truth is, when we released that song, it was very much an indie release. There was zero marketing. I think there was probably about 50 quid, whatever we did with that, towards putting it towards something. We didn't really have a very intentional strategy on growing the track. I think what ended up happening to that song is it got picked up by playlists. So that's something I'm a lot more aware of now that I wasn't aware of back then, but it seemed to fit a certain type of playlist that was very popular. So the song was streamed in loads of different playlists across YouTube and Spotify, and I think loads of people Shazammed the song because it was played in various venues and places. And that's kind of where all the streams came from. So really cool to see that. But yeah, I don't know the strategy. It's very weird to try to create something with a goal in mind, because I've been saying that about the Eurovision as well. I don't think you can write a Eurovision song. I don't understand how the process works, because you have to just write something that's authentic to you as an artist or to the artist that you're working with or the producer. And then if you listen back and say, hey, I think this could be great for Eurovision, then that's maybe something that you should put forward. But yeah, I don't think you can ever write something with the outcome in mind.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah. Okay. So moving on to the Eurovision song. Um, we don't think we've seen a full official video for that yet. Is there one in the works?
Yes, there is. So I was recording some of it today actually. So there is a music video in the making, and I think next year or next week, sorry, hopefully before the Eurosong performance, we'll be able to show a promo sort of teaser for the video, which I'm really excited about as well. So yeah.
So we'll keep our eyes peeled for that. Now the staging, we always ask what the stage is going to be like. can you tell us, or is that one thing you want to keep under wraps until the show itself?
Yeah, I'm keeping that hush hush. I mean, there's not going to be pyrotechnics and all this, fireworks and flames. I don't think the Late Late Show will have any of that. Well, maybe they would, I don't know. But I just decided to kind of like leave a little bit of surprise for the night. I think it's more exciting to not know what to expect and then to just see it, roll out in the 3 minutes or whatever that you have to perform it. So yeah, I'm keeping it under wraps for now.
Yeah, it's tough because you only have 3 minutes to make an instant impression.
Mm-hmm.
On all the voters and the juries out there. So, who are your musical influences?
I mean, I have quite a lot, but I think it changes depending on which artist I'm sort of really loving at whatever time. I think it's developed a lot over the course of my life, but interestingly, where I come from in Donegal, it's got like a wealth of sort of very unique Irish, some tradition, some folk, some kind of modern. I mean, even Enya is from my village, bands like Clan and Altan. And I was kind of raised surrounded by a lot of traditional, like very traditional Irish music, which when I was young, I kind of didn't really care much for. I think it was just always there and I never really appreciated it. And it wasn't until I moved away and went to university in the UK when I was 18 that a lot of that music just sort of, I wanted to hear it more. So I found it online, I'd listen back to it. And then I started, I suppose, really starting to appreciate it. But yeah, it changes all the time. I mean, I'm a songwriter first, and I love writing music for me, but I also write music for other artists. And I kind of love sitting in a studio with somebody who's got a different style to me, or, we have a conversation, we talk about what's going on in their lives and how we can turn that into a song. And I like to think that I'm adaptable as well when it comes to write music for other people to sort of create something that's true to them too. So yeah.
So if you could duet with anyone, who would it be?
Do you know what? I think it would have to be, and I don't really know why, I don't know how it would work, but I think it would have to be Lana Del Rey. Yeah, I think one thing I've always loved about Lana Del Rey's music, I mean, I love her as an artist and I love her music. She was definitely an influence as well early on, but she kind of does. She has that thing where like it's kind of like sort of sad, nostalgic lyrics, but then there's just this amazing sort of atmospheric beat. Or even like all of the remixes of her songs. It's amazing how like something like Summertime Sadness, which is like quite a depressing song, then Cedric Gervais turns it into this incredible like house pop track. And I love that crossover. I love the crossover between kind of nostalgic lyrics and yeah, like upbeat melodies. So if we do edit together, I think that could be interesting.
Probably if Lana's watching, then yeah, get in touch. Get in touch. Yeah. Now we have to touch on Eurovision because we're a Eurovision website. What are your Eurovision memories, and are you a big follower of the contest?
Yeah, definitely. I love the show. I think my earliest memory is, where I'm from, there was a guy in Eurovision, I think it was in 2003, called Mickey Joe Hart. So that was my first memory, because obviously when, your country, you represent your country, but when somebody from your county is represented, there's more excitement about it. So I really remember him just being this really sort of big, character, and he's still a legend to this day. And that's been almost 20 years, I think, since somebody from my county got to represent. So I think it sort of started there, and then I think the Eurovision has changed so much over the last 20 years. But I've always loved it, and I always kind of follow it, and yeah, keep up with the show and all of the antics that go with it.
All of the antics. Have you got any favourite songs? Because there will be fans out there watching this who will probably agree with you or not. Yeah.
I mean, you always have your favorite song of like the year. But I think, do you know what? I really appreciate some of the artists, and I really appreciate some of the producers. And I've actually, even just over the pandemic, I got to work with Joust, and he's an amazing artist, an amazing producer, and I think he's such a talented person. So I do love his song "Grab the Moment." That was super awesome. So that's probably my favorite song and maybe artist from Eurovision. But yeah, there's so many to choose from as well.
Okay, yeah, it's an interesting choice, that. Yeah. Now you say you're you've said that you're a singer and a songwriter. What advice have you got for any budding singer-songwriters out there?
That's a good question. I mean, for me, it's always been like a love and a passion, something that I've enjoyed more than it's ever been sort of like I would ever consider like a profession, even though it's something that my heart is always in. There was a period when it was actually when I was signing a publishing deal, and I had all these anticipations, excitement moving to London, and then there was the pandemic, and something happened where, because I was stuck and trapped indoors and couldn't go out to all these studios, that my creativity for a while, there was a period where my creativity just seemed to just not stop, but I wasn't churning out all of this quality music that I had been doing up until then. I think I realized at that point is because you have to sort of be happy and enjoy it and love what you're doing. So make sure that you're a happy person, make sure that you like find contentment in your own life in order to be able to successfully do songwriting, do music, and be as creative as you possibly can. Always enjoy it, always love it, always have fun with it. And I think that's the best approach, because it's very easy to get worked up in like not the politics, but like the numbers, the streams, or the fame, or whatever it is you're trying to achieve. I think just as long as you're enjoying it and keep doing it, then that's probably the best approach, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think the pandemic affected a lot of people in a lot of different ways, and like, yeah, this being stuck in a house stuck in a room by yourself. It was something that we don't really want to go through again. Anyway, so where can we we said you're a man of 10 million streams. Where can we find you on social media?
Social media, I'm more active on Instagram, so that's probably the platform where you see more activity. I've become more now accustomed to Twitter. I didn't really use it before Eurosong, but now I'm on Twitter, so you can find me there too. If you want to hear my music, then Spotify, all my releases get put up on Spotify, but then on YouTube, I'll be putting out maybe an acoustic cover version, also the music video. I'm also actually releasing a lyric video too. So all of that visual content will be on YouTube, audio on Spotify, and then just to keep up with me is probably Instagram.
Excellent. So there's a final question that we ask everyone. What's your favorite cake?
My favorite cake. My birthday's coming up, and somebody asked me this, and I was like, I don't know. My favorite dessert is tiramisu, but I don't think tiramisu makes a good cake. I probably would just keep it safe and say chocolate.
Chocolate cake. That's good choice. Good choice. We've interviewed one of the other competitors in Eurosong, and they also said chocolate cake. So
Shocking.
Yeah. Right. Finally, have you got any words for the viewers and listeners of Eurovision Ireland out there? The camera's yours.
I mean, do you know what, to be honest, since I was announced to be in this competition so far, the response to Too Good For Your Love has been amazing, and everyone's been so nice, and just everything online has been really positive, so thank you for that. My dream would be to represent Ireland in the Eurovision. I know I'll bring my A game. I'm gonna hopefully present a demonstration of that at the Eurosong. And if you like my music and if you like the performance on the night, then just vote for me and keep supporting me, and hopefully I'll get to perform at Eurovision.
Okay, so thank you. So you're performing, just to remind people, Too Good For Your Love on Eurosong, which is part of the Late Late Show, which is on Friday the 3rd of February, starting, I believe it's around about 9:30 Irish time, check local times, and you should be able to find it online. So Adgy, thanks very much for taking the time to talk to us. We wish you the best of luck at Eurosong, and who knows, we could be chatting again in Liverpool.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
Thanks very much, and goodbye.